What is good, my people? Welcome back to our next session here together on A Leader Worth Following. Currently, we are in a sub-series on levels of leadership. We are about to enter into the third level of leadership. That is the productional level, or level 3, production. And in this series, 5 levels of leadership, this one specifically has a lot of content with it. So we're going to go ahead and break that into 3 parts. This first part here, we're going to get into what is production as a level 3 form of leadership. And we're also going to talk about one of the first laws here together that will bring you everything you need to be a productional leader. And then in the next following videos, we'll get into the second and third key. So go ahead, tune in, get your notepads ready. We're about to get into it, and stay tuned throughout the whole series so you can learn how to be a leader worth following. Here's the deal about production. The production level, or the third level of leadership, is where your leadership takes off. The first level of leadership, you get introduced into the game of leadership. It's the doorway into your beginning, not to be mistaken or to mislead you to think you've arrived. The second level of leadership is the biggest jump, and that's where leadership goes from something that you have as a position, which carries little authority, to something that you're given, and that is permission, which carries great influence. And the third level of leadership is really a separator between a true leader and someone who's simply occupying a position. Level 3 attracts highly productive people because it is the level of production. What does that mean? That you, as a leader, as we enter into the third level of leadership, production, you're going to attract other people who themselves are people who produce, people who respect, people who enjoy collaboration, people who get things done together. And when you attract these people, they join the team, your growth becomes exponential. So productivity is attractive to productive people. Wouldn't you know? Isn't that a crazy thought to think about? So long as we fail to produce, we will always repel people who are currently productive. So where does this all fit in? What are the goals of this level? What does this level really mean? Well, I think that within this level, it's important we understand where we're headed for. What are some marks we know we're achieving it? Well, number 1 is we know we're achieving these marks when we achieve goals. We know we're productive when we are achieving goals. And within ministry, it's the same. Leaders must ensure that the goals are being achieved. You know, for us within youth ministry, that goal is to see our overall attendance increase within a week. And maybe that's a shallow goal, but we can use that as a marker to see if we're connecting with students. We're looking to see the overall amount of students within groups coming from services to groups. We want to see that percentage increase. And we want to set goals around that and hit that. And organizationally, we want to set goals too. You know, how many leaders, we at Upright have a vision to see how many people can we produce who are genuine followers of Jesus within the next 7 years? And we set that goal. We go over as a team. We have that vision. And so in the production level, we are not just setting the goals, but we're actually achieving them. And that's big. Within this level of leadership, we are also creating a culture of excellence. That goes to systems, processes, the organization of who we are as a people, as a leadership team. Within our youth ministry or within ministry, it's going to be inspiring other people. Whether that's your team, whether that's a ministry, no matter what it is, the third level of leadership is where people become inspired by the achievements and or the culture that the organization or you as a leader currently carry and have. So it's important to know it's within this place that people get inspired in their leadership, inspired in their walk and their journey as a leader or as someone being led. Within this level of leadership, production is where we overcome challenges. This is where there's a challenge that we have set in front of us and we blow right through it like nothing is in the way of us, because those results, momentum, systems, and the inspiring of us as a team rises to such a level that as opposition comes, trial comes, things that people couldn't figure out for generations or things that people couldn't figure out for years within a business, they just get blown right through because there's so much momentum. And that goes right into the last one. In this level of leadership, we see extreme building of momentum. As we grow, we'll see results. As we get results, it'll inspire people. As people are inspired, it will lead to more people getting saved, set free, delivered, restored. As organizations, it will lead to more success and growth and having the ability to train and develop leaders. And what we'll end up seeing is that as more people are produced in the kingdom of God, in our organizations, as more people are produced, we're going to see more people get inspired. And as more people are inspired, we're going to see more people get produced. And it's a beautiful cycle. And so these are what we're going to see within this level of production. This is what we're talking about in terms of success. But I really want to break this down, explain what the production level is like more, and even get specific to what that looks like within ministry. And the way I'm going to do that today is I'm going to start with the three, and I want to just highlight these areas, the three keys to production, to this level of leadership. Now, I want to encourage you that we are just getting into these topics and planting the seed and growing you and what we feel that is necessary for you to know as a leader in this church, as a leader in ministry. But don't let your education stop here. Don't let your growth stop here. Read these books, go deeper for yourself, pray about it, do Bible studies on it, get this in your heart, allow this to become something that you're an expert in. And so I want to start that journey with you today by giving you three keys to this level of leadership, which is production, level 3. And you're going to notice in here, we're going to talk about some laws. Now, these laws are from another John C. Maxwell book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And again, you can get that book and read through it. It is phenomenal. And John C. Maxwell brings this up in his book, 5 Levels of Leadership. But the first thing I want to talk about, which will explain a little bit more about what production is at this level and what that looks like for us. I want to do it through the law, a law or a leadership law. And that is, number 1, the law of respect. People naturally follow leaders stronger than themselves. I want you to remember that. People naturally follow leaders that are stronger than themselves. At level 3, leadership moves beyond relationship, beyond just establishing that, and it becomes achieving tangible results. If we were to sum up here, what is production as a level 3 leader? Whether it's a small group, whether it's a youth ministry, whether it is a Sunday or a Sunday or a whole church as a body ministry, whether it's a kids ministry, whether it's a business, what is production? Production in and of itself is achieving a tangible results. That means results we can see, touch, feel, and hold. Results that we can witness with our eyes. Okay? Followers respect leaders, not only for how they treat others, but they also respect leaders and value leaders for what they add through productivity and organizational success. So what does that mean? I want to break it down to you like this. Naturally, we love following people who have achieved a level of success. We don't listen to the person who has 5 kids in their group on how to lead a group, how to bring revival in your group. It's not that those 5 kids aren't important, but I want to go to somebody who's raised up hundreds of kids in their group, who's going to train me how to do the same thing. So their success in running a group in this hypothetical situation gives them a level of respect for me, even if I have no relationship. I want you to think about that. That's quite crazy, right? And you'll notice that this is one of the primary ways that people will get you to buy into their programs. People will get you to buy into their leadership content is what? Is they'll point to their production, and there is a level of respect that comes with that. What does that mean? Well, it's naturally easier for us to follow people who are successful and who achieve great things. Within this, we can see, I just want you to imagine, what would this play out and look like within the church? So I want you to think about this hypothetical situation with me that I've personally seen play out and been a part of even in portions of my life. You have a youth ministry that's at 30 students. And a youth pastor comes in, and this ministry is at 30 students, and they come in hot, and they have vision, they have organization, they have passion, and they lay out to you very clearly, we're going to take this youth ministry from 30 kids to 100 kids, and here's how we're going to do it. And all the while, they are building relationship with the students and relationship with the leaders, developing both students and leaders. Well, time passes. And before you know it, that youth ministry has risen from 30 kids to 70 kids. Now, as somebody who's in that ministry, what you're going to begin to see and feel is that these things that we are doing actually work. And now when you look at that leader, and in this situation, it's a youth pastor, and they say to you, hey, we're going to do X, Y, Z, let's do X, Y, Z. There is a new level of respect because they have achieved success within the ministry. They've achieved success within the organization. And now you're saying they took us from 30 to 70. I'm sure they can take us from 70 to 100, from 100 to 150. And that right there is where we can see people will likely, more than just a relationship, will like to be led because they see the results. And the same thing goes with how this translates over is it goes from even a level of leading people one-on-one with their spiritual development and growth. I mean, when you have somebody who comes to you, maybe it's a small groups, maybe it's in a small group setting, maybe it's even outside of that. Maybe it's just some discipleship you're doing in your life with someone that you love in your family, whatever it is. On the spiritual aspect, if somebody comes to you and they've been dealing with difficulties with addictions, difficulties with staying consistent in their relationship with God, maybe it's reading their Bible, and you're able to come to them and say, here's the path, here's the plan to get from where you're at, which is spiritually dead, to spiritually living and staying consistent and getting free. And you're able to walk them from that place to a place of freedom in their life. You now carry a great level of respect because they know whatever you're going to ask them to do, whatever you're going to lead them to do, they have a new level of trust in it because they've actually seen results. They've actually seen results. And do you know what that does for other people who view your life, for other people who watch those type of leaders lead? Is it gives other people hope that the same thing can happen with them. It gives them a level of trust that the same thing can happen in their life. And so if you're a small group leader and you're listening to this, if you are an intern and you're listening to this, if you are leading in any type of way or organization in your life, I want you to hear this. And I'm going to do it through the lens of our youth ministry. But when we look at a small group leader, for example, how is it that they gain respect? Well, you do what I just said. You come into a group and you might notice that the group is disconnected. There's disunity. Students are discouraged. There's a lack of interest and there's a lack of consistency. And you might identify some things that indicate that there's been a lack of effort, a lack of time. There's no momentum. You come in and you're like, number one, I got a good youth pastor who gives me some curriculum that's going to allow me to teach these kids how to be consistent in their relationship with God, which a good youth pastor should. But nevertheless, that's where we should always be pushing students to become disciples. You come in and you're like, my goal in this group is to make disciples for Jesus, to make kids who are consistent in their spiritual disciplines, reading the word, abiding in the vine, having their own personal relationship with Christ and leading myself from that manner. And as you come in and you establish that as the goal of the group and you begin to minister to the students and you give them a path to follow to get to that result and you begin to see results, because it works, what you're going to see is that other students are going to look at you, look at your life, and look at their peers, and they're going to say, I want to be in that group. I want to be like that kid. I know if I go there, they can teach me how to do the same thing. And that right there incites growth, and it attracts other people who are productive. And inside of a team as a whole or organization as a whole, when other people see the success that you're having as a ministry, as an organization, as a group, they are drawn to that. They are drawn to that. One of the things that I love about our church when people come from an outside perspective is there's many, many times that I've seen people lock in into going to our Bible college, joining in the youth ministry, joining our church as a whole, simply because they see the level of production that's taking place. And they're like, I want to be a part of that. And maybe you can't, maybe you don't know anything other than the church you're at right now. Maybe there's just some men and women of God. Maybe there's just some business leaders or some leadership gurus or people that you see on the internet that you see the proven results they have of production. And it puts you in a place where you're like, I want them to teach me because I respect the fact that they have proof and results from what they did. And that is the leader that you're going to become. You're not only going to be a leader who gets entered into this game through a position, but you're going to be a leader who genuinely builds relationship with the students and the people that you lead in your life. And from that place of leading other people in whatever capacity that is, what's going to occur is you're going to gain some results, some production from it, if you're doing it intentionally and correctly. And when you set those goals, when you achieve those goals, it is going to attract other people who are like-minded, who either want to join in helping the mission, or they themselves are inspired to become a part of the mission, even if they weren't previously. And that right there is what we're looking for within leadership. All right, that's it for this video. We'll see you in the next video session. We love you, and we can't wait to hear your feedback on this.